poet to receive a Juno Award for poetry, writing poetry and music in Canada, and set that category in Canada.
Cool.
And she came out here this summer on a book read, and I went to go see her, and I saw her on Facebook, and I went to go check it out. And she came in, and we had been friends from before. I said, I'm running this poetry program, and she said, okay, let me check it out. I said, yeah, come by and I'll play some stuff. Anyway, so I played her Neil's first piece, Intervention, and she fell in love with it. Interfere, sorry, the name of the piece? Interfere. Interfere. Yeah. I played her the piece and she flipped. She was like, oh my God, I really like what you're doing and I love this guy's voice. I says, listen man, this guy's so green, but he's a writing, like he just keeps writing.
With a writing machine.
He won't stop writing, right? She goes, I love this guy, right? So she goes, I'd like to do a track for you guys. So for the program that we're trying to put together, we're trying to put a CD together. She decided to donate a track for us. So she donated. So she donated a track.
What was her name again?
Lillian Allen.
Oh, okay.
Right. So she donated a track to us here at Life Skills. Right. And we put it down and we put it to work. Now Lillian's written books. She's written children's books. I was on tour with her in the early part of the 90s and late 80s, and she would tour with people like Margaret Atwood, which is one of the famous Canadian writers, Buffy St. Marie, which is native First Nations singer, folk story. Buffy St. Marie, who Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong, or The Eagles Fly, won an Oscar, won a Grammy. She
was nominated for an Oscar back then.
She was nominated for an Oscar as well. Right. So these are the kind of people she rubbed shoulders with, right, and kicked down doors for.
Cool.
And Lillian also with she's heavy in the feminist activist kind of way. So she really liked what we were doing down here, and she really thought that this was important. So she gave us a track. So I'd like to play for you guys today. I know I brought it. I know I set it up. After a build up like that, people don't know if I don't have it.
So all these tracks are going to be on like one CD, right?
We're trying. We're really trying to do that. So here's Lillian.
How shall we build our community without care, without welfare? When sincerely the physical and mental ill health should equal somebody else's wealth. When will we feed the creativity in our people's heart? When will we hear the deep insides, the unfinished rides, the dreams laying years on a shelf? Call my name, call my name. Is justice looking for rights, rights, rights? Right to lead that dignified life. And the people never humble, just to get a little blind. What to find, what to find, what to do to survive. Nah, that couldn't be right. As they walk through the valley and the shadow of oppression, the people's spiritual rise. Right here in this downtown east side. Call my name, call my name. It's equal rights and justice for the people of the downtown east side. Yes. Moving forward into this 21st century. Together, we have to build our community. So just a shout out from Toronto, from Regent Park, from Lawrence Heights.
Chuck said, he said, read your part.
Reading part.
Yeah. Yo.
And then he
That's
said,
good,
next
man.
is the
Cool.
So,
You don't go
Who was
inside
singing,
Toronto
John?
either, man.
so that was her. That was Lillian doing all the vocals. Like,
What?
I gotta tell you something else about she. In poetry and especially in West Indian culture, there was a woman by the name of Mama Lou, and Mama Lou was a writer of Jamaican or folk stories, and she spoke with a real thick accent. And what happened was Lillian wrote a poem read a poem about Mama Lou, who was a real gifted poet and storyteller. How she went to Paris, and she was learning the French patois or patois. So she was speaking with a French accent in France, right? With a Jamaican accent, but speaking French. So she turned it into a poem, and like, oh, they love, oh, me parlez-vous français, and she's doing this poetry, right, and she's reading this, and I'm just like, my mouth just hit the ground, because here is a woman who twists up the words in another language with her own accent, learning another dialect and flipping a story, and I was just like, that's so powerful, right? And there was a poem, no music, no nothing, just a poem. So what she's done here is like, she's used the same sort of accent back, West Indian accent, even though she talks proper English, she has to, right? She flipped it to when will we build a community without care, without fear, things like
Don't
that.
go east side.
Right.
So
So it's right. It's about the poverty and stuff, but she's flipping it in her own accent. So this is the powerfulness of a poetry piece, right? That it can flip and disguise and come in lots of different flavors. You know what I mean? She was saying things in there where she was going like, shout out to Regent Park and Lawrence and Eglinton. These are heavy ghetto areas in Toronto, right? These are heavy really corners, right? And she's shouting them out. And then she ties it right back into the downtown east side. So she's not only saying that you got the problem here, but we got this problem nationally everywhere, and she starts pointing out areas where we got
Pretty much every town's east side's kind of got something.
right? So everybody's got a downtown.
Everybody's
east
got a through hand.
right? So she brings that. So this is the journey she takes in a piece, right? When this does come out and you get a chance to really look at the lyric and how she put the lyric together, it's really smart. It's really heavy, right? So and this is just a piece, and you guys are doing this every day. And then she says, when will we start feeding our culture where they can get together and start caring and sharing with one another?
Infusing.
And that's what we're doing here right now, is we're like from different cultures and we're mixing our poetry together and fusing and feeding our own creativity, right? So that's what we're doing here. And I thought that was really powerful.
What would be cool, Devon? That we do a song and just put like a line each in it, like all together, you know what I'm saying? Finish it off with something.
That's an awesome idea.
That's a wicked idea.
I like that.
Like it could be sort of like Live Aid, like We Are the World, right?
Like you start a story from one beginning and you kind of see who can carry the story from one to one and see where the story ends up eventually, or the line.
Hey, you know what? That's a really deep idea.
Brilliant.
Right? And it could be done simply as just one person starting a word and then continuing it.
Let's roll the tape. Let's start.
And see how it goes. You want to try that?
Yeah.